last group session before the demo day. And for those of you who are watching afterwards, and for you who are online right now, it's 1 week until we meet in Oslo, and that will be so nice to meet you all live in person, actually. So everybody will be there. So that's cool. So, and basically this session right now is just to check up if you have some questions regarding the demo day or what we're going to do there. I will just take you through the plan so far, and we perhaps got some tips and tricks from the team here as well for today, how to actually do this during the event as a startup. So first of all, quick question to the ones who are here. Roland, how does it feel?
Very good. We're looking forward.
You're looking forward? Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Good timing for us.
Yeah. And Torske, how do you feel about next Wednesday?
Yeah, it's exciting to see everyone in person because it has been digital for some time. So it will be nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, to see if they are tall or small.
Yeah. Yes.
It's such a surprise, yeah, when you see them live in person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you appreciated the pitch coaching from Aline, Torske?
Yeah, it was really helpful because I have never been on the stage, or I haven't actually pitched physically so far. It has been all digital.
All right.
So she really helped and give some tips that this is going to be recorded, right? When we on the stage, everything will be recorded.
Yes.
So that's why it's important to say or show the things that we know that is going to be recorded and it can be shown to other people as well.
Yeah, it will actually be an online streaming, so it will be streamed online. So we have a lot of people registered for the online event as well. But of course, it will also be a recording that will be available on YouTube afterwards. So yeah.
Yeah, and she mentioned about the questions.
Yeah.
That when we are done with the pitch, you are going to ask some questions to each team.
Yeah, so we will have a few what we call the investor panel. It's some people that we've if you have and this is the way you're going to do your pitch for 5 minutes, and then you will get 1 or 2 or 3 questions from this what we call the investor panels. So it's just and they will introduce themselves when we start, if you want, as in your case, that you want to have you know which questions you will be asked, and that's good since it will be recorded. You know, it could be good to actually know what it is. Then you can send your questions to us, to me, Aline, or Dasha, and we will collect them in a document, and we will give these questions to the investor panel and ask them to ask these questions for you firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
But we want, at the same time, we want it to be a little bit dynamic in the interaction, you know, so that it looks not too prepared. Therefore, we don't know exactly which person will ask which question and so on. It will depend upon who's been talking a lot in the investor panel. So they will get their questions, and we will tell them to actually base their questions on these ones. But with that in mind, so hopefully the first and perhaps the second questions will be these questions that you prepared. But there might be, you know, that they want you to clarify something, or they ask something different. So and that's the way we need to have this kind of dynamic, so that it's not too well prepared or so we cannot always trust them to just do exactly as we say, because they're going on their own way. But that's also part of the dynamic, you know. It makes it more interesting. But probably the first and the second question you will get is the ones that you've sent in. Yeah. And for those of you who don't want pre-prepared questions, no worry, you will also get questions, but you don't know what they will be. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's up to you.
But do they know us in advance, or they are gonna hear everything on stage, or who are the people on the panel?
It will be, hello, I'm busy. Yeah. There will be, they haven't heard about you as a company or anything like that before. So this will be the first time that they will hear about the case. If they haven't looked in the program and watched perhaps the LinkedIn post or something like that. So they might have checked you up before. So that might be the case. We don't know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Great. And I also got the question. There will be when you speak, there will be you know, a wireless microphone like you put on here. So it's not a microphone that you have in your hand. It's a microphone that you put on here. And the streaming team, they will be in the back of the panel with the cameras and everything. You will see that when you arrive. Before you will pitch, they will call on you, and you will put on this wireless microphone before you start, so that you just can go up on stage when it's your turn, because it will be very we will take each one after each other. Yeah. And you need to keep your time. So please, if you have 4 minutes, that's, or prepare for 4 minutes, that's better. So you have a little flexibility. And then you will get some more time for questions and so on. And once again, I've said this many times, but it's so important when you get the questions, answer them quickly and shortly. You don't want to talk for 3 minutes if you get one question, because then you're off. You know that, oh, this is not a coachable person. If you talk too much in that case when you get the questions. So I've said that many times, but I hope I made that clear. So keep the answers quick and short for the investors. It's not only for demo days, but also for other sessions that you have. If you have pitch your company for 10 minutes and you will have a discussion, don't answer one question in 10 minutes. Usually technical founders do that. Researchers and so on, they can talk for hours about the product. Yeah. Anyway, so and that's the way. And after the session, we will have the after party. So you can just hang around your roll up and talk to people. And do not only just stand and wait for people to come, actually be active and ask people, hello, where are you from? As a easy, question to get started the conversation with. Or how did you find the sessions? Or did you see any company that you liked? Or whatever you can come up with as a kind of introduction. So that's the mingling, what we call the mingling part. Yeah. So it's not like an exhibition in that way, where everybody is standing in their booths. It's more like a mingling place. Yeah. All right. And when you arrive to Oslo, you can come to the venue at Rebel. After 12 o'clock or onwards, you can go and check out the stage and everything, so that you know that it's how it feels. And it's actually not a stage in that regard. It's more, this is a co-working place. So we'll change the venue into to this event place during this day. And we will be there doing the preparations and so on. So yeah. But basically, you can do whatever you want before the session. But please be there at latest at 3 o'clock if you because then the mingling will start and people will start to come up. All right. And Dasha? Yeah.
I just got something regarding the venue. If you are dropping in during the day, the floor which is on top of the building is a closed floor, so you have to call some of us. So we have to supply you with the phone numbers to all of us. Otherwise, you won't get up in the elevator during the day.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
It's just the practical part of that.
Yeah. So, note, Dasha, can you take a note of this, that we will send the phone numbers of all the teams when we send some other information later today, perhaps? Because the second thing was regarding, we want you to send the presentations beforehand, and Dasha had sent you the email about that. Do you want to comment on that, Dasha? When is the deadline?
Yeah, I asked you to send your pitch decks by Friday, included. So thank you. I already got from Datatera. But yeah, if you could send me your latest, like, updated pitch decks by the end of this week, we will put together like one master slide deck that we will be using at the event. So that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And we always get these questions, oh, but I want to change something, and oh, I don't know if I should use this or that word, you know. We can always, you know, change that in the afternoon at the venue. Yeah. Or if you send it to us, but we need to have most of the information in this slide deck, but we can of course always change a word or two directly in the master slide. So rather send it, and if you want to add the picture or something else later, we will be able to do that. Yeah. All right. Good point. So I would just like to ask David first here, from your perspective as both an investor and doing this investor events for many years in the investor breakfast club and so on, where lots of startups has pitched during the years in Oslo. So do you have any tips or tricks for the startups, David?
Sure. I'll try to follow my own advice here, which is always keep it simple. That's number one.
Yeah.
On stage, but even more so after, I would say. So obviously we have a very limited time to mingle, network, and get to talk to as many investors as possible. So the way to do that is that you need to have a crisp elevator pitch. I'd say max 30 seconds. So if they ask you, so which was your startup again? So what are you doing? Because even if you've been pitching for 5 minutes, I swear that they've been fiddling around with their phone and they did something else and they may not have catched everything. So you have to do it again and keep it very, very crisp, very, very simple. This is my number one advice above all. And then there's a couple of, practical hygiene factors, I'd say. Some of you have put a lot of focus on the actual pitch and to sell your great idea. But when the investor asks you, so how do you intend to execute the investment? What financial instrument are you using? What are you going to say then? Are you going to go for a normal share issue? Are you going to use a safe instrument? All these kind of things you really need to think about. So what I'd say is, if you're not sure about what I'm talking about now, please, after this session, Google how you execute a funding round. And you have a couple of different ways of doing that. The most common one today is the SAFE instrument, which is the Simple Agreement for Future Equity, which Y Combinator developed. It's very common. And the simplest way is probably to do a normal share issue. But you need to understand the difference between these two, because you will get that question. A third kind of advice would also be to, for those of you that were a part of Fabian's session last week, there was one thing there that stuck to me, and that is be memorable. Do you remember that? That he said, you have to say something, you have to do something, you have to be something which is about, where you put yourself apart from the crowd. And the question is, how do you do that? And you have 5 minutes on the stage. to actually do that. So my tip here is to see if you have a trick up your sleeve. It could be, you know, maybe a big announcement. It could be a big new customer. It could be a big promotion. Maybe you have already landed a great new business angel, for example. Whatever it may be, this is the place to actually tell the world about it so they remember it. And Stefan, do you remember how we ended our session? We said that we had our own startup, and then he woke up. And we told him about one in what, 10 seconds? And then he said, that's memorable.
Yeah.
All right. So think about that. So yeah, that's my tips. I'm sure there's more, but hope that was helpful.
Yeah. Really great. And if you don't have any, just to go back to what you talked about, to the investment round here, if you don't have any idea about that, just tell them we will do a share issue, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you can of course change that afterwards. But that in Swedish that's a nyemission, and that when you make new shares basically, and they will buy the new shares in that case. So that's usually the case, the way it's been being done. But there are other ways.
And then I also think you can probably put a goal for yourself where you say that, hey, by the end of the day, I should have talked to, let's say, 10 investors minimum. Yeah. So you mingle a lot and you put pressure on yourself to move around and talk to investors. And when you talk to them, take their details immediately. Up with your phone, connect them on LinkedIn. If you see that they're interesting, try to agree on having a meeting later. Don't wait, do it immediately. This is my tip. All right, Stefan Pettersson, do you have any additional tips from your end?
Yeah, remember that you are selling a meeting, not your company, when you're pitching. And then go for the mingling, because that is when you get more one-to-one time. And to fill in to David's part, don't wait. Don't say that you're going to set the meeting later. Set the meeting directly when you meet the investor, so they get in the calendar. Otherwise, you get 2 or more more interactions before you get anywhere. And they are looking for time in their calendar, and you're looking time for your calendar. So set the meeting there and then. I think that's the best part of it.
Yeah. That's so
When
important.
will the mingle happen? Is it before the pitch or after the pitch, or both?
It's after the pitch, but we said that the venue will be open from 3:00, and the session will start at 4:10 or something like that. So we will let people come in during that time. But I don't think that most of the people will perhaps arrive at 3:45 or something like that. But there might be some people coming earlier as well. So the big thing is after. Yeah.
So basically what we do is that we open the bar, and then we just continue to late. So, and that's really where we have time to mingle and network. And normally we'll do that up until maybe 11 o'clock at night. So you will at least have 4 or 5 hours, talk to investors if you want.
Yeah. And it's not only investors. There are also some what we call ecosystem players, but there are people that are working in the ecosystem, and they can be just as valuable for you as well to meet this. So don't only think of the investor perspective, also from a customer partnership or networking perspective. So even if there's if they're saying, oh, I'm working at this blah blah blah, I don't know, cluster or incubator or whatever, something, they might be valuable for you in other ways as well. So and what you always do is in the end of the conversation, if you don't feel that this is a totally waste of a person, someone that's not interested, just ask them the question, do you have LinkedIn? It's so simple. And then they will say yes, because all do have. And then you say, okay, let's connect. And you will take up your phone and you will take the QR code that you have here and just show them. Or you can make a screenshot of your QR code from LinkedIn, and you can just, okay, please connect. And everybody, is taking up their phones and just scanning and adding you on spot. Or you will, or you can ask them and just do that. So, and then you will have a list of people that you've met during the evening afterwards. So if you go into your LinkedIn and just check the last connections that you got from LinkedIn, because it's totally impossible to remember all the people that you talk to if you talk to a lot of people. Yeah.
And go through that list it's in your contacts the day after, so you can hang up and remember who you were talking with what. So you have some memory at least of it, or even take notes. Who's you gonna talk to?
Yeah. And it's so valuable just to say, nice to meet you at the Digital Adventures Demo Day. Looking forward to talking more to you later, or whatever. It was nice to just meet you last night at the Demo Day. And if you do this on this, perhaps if you have 10 new contacts, whatever, later you can easily go back and see, okay, I met this person at this event. I met this person at this thing. And after a year or two, that can be valuable to actually go back and see it in the chat. Yeah. And when we, for example, Stefan, when we have been visiting these different kinds of startup events in the Baltics and Nordics, it's impossible to remember all the names and companies and everything, but it's so good to have them on LinkedIn because you see the spelling, you see the company name, you see everything. And if you do this quick chat after you met them, you will have also like what's it called? Yeah, a note for yourself of where you met this person and on their end as well. So,
Ines put in something in the chat there that WhatsApp has a note to oneself that you can use as well. So
that could be a way as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different ways of working, but at least connect as many connections as possible. And afterwards, what is really on LinkedIn is their CV, so you get more to hang it up on. And you can also look backwards to see, have this person done anything else that is useful for me?
Yeah.
In a good way.
I also use my phone. I don't, I'm taking notes, this Notes app. So, for example, this week I'm in Finland. I'm in Helsinki right now, so I will be visiting Slush. So I go to a lot of side events during this week. So last night we was outside Helsinki here in Espoo, and when I talk to people, I just add them to the notes as well. But also when I was looking at the companies on stage that were pitching, I also took notes of their names and company names of the ones that I thought was interesting, and I connected them at the same time during I was listening to the pitches. So that's the way that you make the most use of this. Going to events and pitching sessions and so on. So it's not just only for the demo day, it's also for all these kinds of startup and investor events. So we will probably go to a lot in the upcoming years if you continue this journey. And with that said, don't be afraid to ask for connections this way, because that's why people are there. This is a networking business. So they all want this. We're all in the same boat. So don't think that you're selling something or that, because you're building a network and a relationship, and that's valuable for everybody. Yeah. So that was my kind of tips. All right. Anything else? So Dasha will post during this week, I think once a day, perhaps one company at a day, a post for you for that you're going to pitch at the demo day. Is that right, Dasha? So
yes,
please,
exactly.
Please tag the founders in this post, and when you see that, please share and also like, of course, the posts. Obvious, but yeah, we need to remind people that this is happening. Yeah. And lastly, you have the LinkedIn event. It's a very easy way to invite your contacts and so on, people that you talked with before, even for the online stream, you know. And if you get them to actually accept the invitation there, they will get a message from David, who will actually ask everybody who has joined the LinkedIn event to go and also register for the event. It's a bit difficult because we send out calendar invites and LinkedIn invitations and also have this registration form. So we can't exactly know how many people will turn up and exactly how many will be on the online stream, but we're doing our best.
I can say that in the physical facility, we have room for maybe 100 to 120 people maximum, something like that. But when it comes to the digital room, that's unlimited, of course.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah. So please just when you accept your invitation to the demo day event, you got the link here in the chat. You can also just share that. And what I mean is that you just invite, and you invite the people in your network on LinkedIn. That's a really good way of making promotion for yourself. Okay. I think this is it. We have individual sessions during this week and next week, and if anything, you can, of course, always ask us for a quick meeting, and we will help you with whatever questions or things that you have. Yeah, if someone is wondering after the demo day, we will book a session with each one of your company, and we will evaluate the KHA innovation readiness levels again and see how far you will come, and we will do a roadmap for the alumni work that we will do together as well. And no one here needs to be worried about not getting certified from the digital event. I just want to say that, because someone, oh, will I be certified? You know? Yeah, you've all made great progress during this autumn, and we know there's much more things. Everybody feels like that. Oh, we should have done that. Should have done more. Should have done better. I'm not finished, and so on. And that's the way it is in accelerator process. This is just 3 months. But you will all be graduating from us at this event. So don't be worried about that. Please instead be happy when you graduate and look surprised. Just to be clear, so you don't need to be worried about that. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
And have a great day and week, and see you live in person soon. All right.
All right.
Thanks,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.